guys, Stacy Itzel, Executive Director in Arnold, Maryland, here with you today on our PhD call. And this call is all about helping new consultants get off to a strong start. And I'm really sorry that I can't be with you live tonight. I'm actually right now on an incentive trip with my husband in Washington, D.C. And when you're watching this, I'm probably at the Naval Yard doing something fun, I guess. I don't know. He's an insurance agent, and they're not anywhere near as fun as Pampered Chef consultants. Let me tell you, we talk about this all the time, how much different his incentive trips are versus ours. So maybe I'm having fun, maybe I'm not. Anyway, I can't be with you live, so I'm doing this recording to share with you what I do with my new consultants that join my organization and what our entire organization does. And, you know, helping a new consultant get off to a strong start is probably one of the most important things that you can do, one of the best places to spend your time. You have heard every single week from your executives about the RSVP program, personal sales, personal recruiting, very new people, and performers. Well, today we're going to talk about very new people. Anyway, if you look at your team's stats, I can tell you that this is true for my team, and most of the executives will probably tell you the same, that at least a third, if not more, of the sales that come into my organization are from the new consultants. So that's why it's so important to spend time with them and to really encourage them and help them and affirm them every way that you can. Because what we want to happen is we want them to go from our very new people to our performers category and not be this third one, the ones that are out the door, right? Because we know that if you look at your team, a third are new, a third are sticking, and a third are out the door. Well, we want them to be in the sticking category. Again, our performers. So anyway, there are lots of resources available online through Consultants Corner. Of course, we have the 72-hour Strong Start, and then we have the New Consultant Go Guide. And both are absolutely amazing and really what my entire new consultant system is based off of. But I felt like for me personally, it was two different programs, and I needed something that brought it all together into one. So that's what I created, my new consultant training guide. And this is something that I have given to all my directors, but additionally to everybody that recruits in my team. As soon as they get their first recruits, I send them this system. Because even though I'm going to be training their new consultant, they're a part of, if they're my personal team, I'm training their new consultant, but they are a part of that training with me, meaning that they follow along, they're reading. And why that's great is because it makes me duplicatable. They see that I don't have this all memorized, that I don't wing it, that I have something in place that they have access to help them get their new consultants off to a strong start. Maybe you're freaking out when I say system. Maybe that just is not your style. I bet that some of you are thinking, I need this. I just have had no idea where to start. And so I am going to share with you very briefly tonight what I do, walk you through the first 3 phone calls that I do with new consultants, because those are the most important, and then tell you what I do with them throughout the rest of their time getting started, which is their whole 90 days. And so I basically have 7 calls that I do with them. And if you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's too much, remember, these are one of the most important people in your organization right now. A system helps keep people from falling through the cracks. You can't afford to do that with your new consultants. They need to be trained, they need to feel supported, and they need to know how to do certain things to get their business off to a strong start. So in my entire organization, it doesn't matter who you are, where you join, when someone joins our team, they always get a welcome call from me. And that's basically a 4-minute recording that I did, that they click on and listen to it, or they can dial in and listen to it. It welcomes them to our team. It congratulates them. It introduces myself to them. You may be a director right now and everybody's coming into your personal team, but someday you're going to be an advanced director, a senior director, an executive director, and you may not be able to personally reach out to every single person in your organization through a phone call. It's important to do that though, and this welcome call lets me do that, lets me introduce myself to them, and then helps them to feel like they are part of our team. I also attach a few documents to this welcome call, one of which is our new consultant rewards program flyer that is new and fabulous. I love it. I also attach the list of 100 because the most important thing for a new consultant to be doing is booking parties, right? Booking those shows and making that list of people to reach out to. I also attached something called business details, which is basically just how to set up your website, how to set up your order payment account, how to set up direct deposit, where the online training center is, how to get access to those training courses, which 2 training courses should they take right away, which for me, the first 2 I want them to take is achieving their goals and prospecting. Those are the 2 that we have them take. This is stuff that I don't want to spend time on the phone with them, telling them how to do, because that's not the best way that I can help them, is telling them how to set up their order payment account. But let's face it, right now, our website is a little confusing and overwhelming to a new consultant, so I just wanted to put a list together that told them exactly where to go, and then they know what to do from there. And then I also attach our success checklist, which again is brand new and updated. So, and then as soon as that email is sent to them, if they are my personal recruit or a recruit that's been added to my personal team, we have a phone call set up with them within the first 24 to 48 hours of their kit being ordered, of their new consultant agreement being signed. And the directors are doing that as well with their new recruits. And it is so important that you get on the phone with them right away. Every day that goes by is a day that people can get into their heads and start saying negative things, or it's a day that they lose their excitement. And so you need to be right there with them, encouraging them and keeping that excitement level at its peak. Okay, so they join, welcome call goes out, our call is set within the first 24 to 48 hours. Let me back up and show you one thing. Every new consultant on my team has one of these for them. It's just a little piece of paper that I keep in my little binder right here, and it just is a checklist basically, and helps me keep Katie straight from Debbie, straight from Renee, and there's a place to check off all of the calls that I do with them, place to check off their training courses that they've taken, their 30-day dates, their 90-day dates, the date of their grand opening shows, why they started Pampered Chef, all of that. I suggest having one of those, and I'm happy to share any of this with you guys if you would like it. Okay, so on that first phone call, what are we doing? We're spending about 10 minutes getting to know them, why they started Pampered Chef. So I'll say something like, tell me about yourself. Tell me about your family, about your hobbies, about your job that you're currently working. Tell me about your spouse, your significant other, and tell me about your children. These are all indicators for me of where we can branch out their business, not only, but also you want to know who you're working with, how you can help them and support them the most. And so it's the stronger your relationship with them, the better you're going to be able to support them. And they need to feel connected to you as well. Then the next question I ask them is, you know what? Tell me the biggest reason for becoming a Pampered Chef consultant. Why did you do this? What do you see this doing for you and for your family? How much money would you like to earn towards that goal each month? Do you want to be trained as a consultant, or do you want to be trained as a leader? Some of them are like, I'm all in, make me a leader. Other people are like, leader, what? I did not sign up for that. Just teach me how to be a consultant. Hopefully through the training they change their mind, but it's important to know what this person's aspirations are so that you can support them. And sometimes they aren't quite sure how many shows they want to have or should have. So And a lot of times they're afraid that they're not going to be able to book the number of parties that they want. But to really help and support them and to help them set goals, we need to know how much they are actually able to do and willing to do. So a great way to say that is, if I had a big box or big bag of names of people who were just dying to have a Pampered Chef party, and you could reach in and grab as many as you wanted for your first 30 days, for your first 60 days, for your first 90 days, as many shows a week, what would that look like for you? How many shows a week would you like to have? And so that really, when you take that pressure off of them, knowing that they could have as many shows as they wanted, they can give you a real number that way. No matter what they say, I'm always going to encourage them to do at least 6 to 8 shows. I shouldn't say no matter what they say. If they say 1 to 2, I'm still going to encourage them to do 6 to 8 shows in their first 30 days. I know you've all heard the airplane story in my welcome call. I go over that briefly with them. You know, if an airplane's going down the runway 25 miles an hour, it is never going to get off the ground. And your business is kind of the same way. If you're going down the business runway and you're only doing 1 show a month, it's really going to be tough to get this business up. And so, like the airplane, it's full steam ahead, get off the ground, and then decide what's comfortable for you. Let's go 6 to 8 shows in your first 30 days, get this business off the ground, and then you can adjust it accordingly. Another reason why we want to do as many shows as possible in the first 30 days is because of our new consultant rewards program, right? Like, we want them to maximize their benefits and get as many Pampered Chef dollars as they can. So another question that I ask them is, what would you like to earn for free as a consultant? What products would you like to have? And I help them build their wish list of products just like I do with my hosts, and finding out what they want. And then when you explain that new consultant rewards program to them and show them how they can earn all of that and not have to use the money that they're earning to buy products, that they can use their Pampered Chef dollars, they're more excited about doing those 6 to 8 parties. It's also really important to make sure a new consultant knows how to plan out their calendar. This is something else that my welcome call walks them through very quickly. They have to have the dates identified that they can do shows. If they're booking parties and they say to someone, when do you want to have your show? That freaks the person out, the host, the potential host. So they need to have the dates set aside that they can work, and then I teach them, or you need to teach them, how to offer choices when it comes to booking parties. But the most important thing that we do on this first call is a brainstorming list of people to reach out to book those first parties. So before we jump into that, they've planned out their calendar, and so then I ask them, what are the first 2 dates that you have set aside that you could do parties? And hopefully they have like a weekend and a weeknight set aside. And I'll say, fantastic, these we're going to make your grand opening parties, your kickoff shows, your point and laugh parties. You can call them whatever you want. We're going to use these first 2 dates to launch your business. But what we are not going to do is start inviting people to this party. We're not going to do like a big blanket invitation and hope that we book parties from these grand opening shows. I'm going to teach in a minute how we're going to use these grand opening shows as a backup plan. So what we jump into next is a brainstorming list of people that they know, and it's called the Friends List. You can download this from Consultants Corner. Y'all are directors, so I'm sure most of you know this. Franks is friends, relatives, associates, neighbors, kids, and significant other. So when you're going through this brainstorming list with them, what's really important to do is to get them to think of people that they know without prejudging. And you can get them to do that by telling them that you're going to give them a chance to judge them later. So, for example, I would say something like, okay, Sharon, we're going to walk through a little brainstorming activity right now, and you've got to raise your right hand, this is my right hand, and promise me that no matter what category I give you, you're just going to give me 3 to 4 names. You're not going to try to think about whether they would have a Pampered Chef party or not. I know it's going to be tough, But I promise you, if you just give me 3 to 4 names in each category after we make our list, I'm going to give you the opportunity to judge them and decide whether or not they want to host a show. And as soon as you tell them that, it's like freedom. All they can, I mean, they'll just start giving you the names. They're not going to waste time judging because they know that that time's coming for them. But if you don't do that, if you don't get the names from them of people that they know, you're not going to be able to go through the training with them and teach them how they can book people that they don't think will actually host a Pampered Chef party for them. So you go through, you have them list all the names, and I actually do this right on the back of my tracking sheet that I use for each person. You can see Katie's list here, Franks, and you can see that she only had one neighbor, and that's okay, because she had 3 friends, she had 5 relatives, she had 6 acquaintances. So if they're rattling off names, by all means, I do not stop them. I let them keep going. And that's but you don't want to ask them for 10 names, because if they can only get 6, they feel discouraged. If they only get 1 out of 3, they feel okay about that. They don't feel really down like they're not going to know enough people, because they probably got more in one of the other categories that kind of balances it all out. So after they make that list, you ask them to go through and write an A, a B, or a C next to each person's name. Now, an A is someone you absolutely know they were going to book a party with you. It's your mom. It's like, Mom, you have to have a Pampered Chef party. Like, there's no question you're having a party for me. Who are the people on your list that you're like, oh yeah, definitely, she'll have a Pampered Chef party, no doubt. B's are people that you feel pretty confident they're going to host a Pampered Chef party, but you're not like, it's not like your mom, like you can't make her do it. And then C's are the people that you're not sure if they're going to have a party, and quite honestly, you feel really nervous about picking up the phone and asking them. You can think of all the reasons why they wouldn't host a party, but can think of very few why they would. And so after you give them a minute to do that, I ask them, so who do you think I want you to call first? The A's, the B's, or the C's? And they always say A. Of course, they're the given. That's your mom. Of course she's going to host a Pampered Chef party, so of course I'm going to call her first, and of course I'm going to get that show booked. But I like to actually encourage them to call their C's first for a couple different reasons. One, they're expecting a no. And we know that we have to get conditioned to hearing no in this business. So they call that C, they hear the no, they weren't expecting it anyway, they're starting to get used to hearing no. 2, they're expecting a no, they get a yes. Oh my gosh, how excited are they? They're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to call the next person. Mindy just said yes, and I did not think in a million years that she was going to host a Pampered Chef party. And 3, most new consultants stumble through their words on the phone, and so if they're going to stumble through, let's have them stumble through on somebody who's probably going to say no anyway, and let them get it right for the people who are going to say yes, or hopefully that we want to say yes. They're B's and A's. So after you do that, the next step is giving them words to say. So consultants need the words to say and the words not to say. So I would say something like, so let's talk about why some of these people would want to host a Pampered Chef party. So Mindy's on your list. She was one of your neighbors. What do you know about Mindy? Why would she benefit from having a Pampered Chef party? And so Katie tells me, and I'm looking at my notes here, that Mindy has horses and she's a very busy person, and that she could really benefit from learning some quick meals. They don't have a lot of money, so she knows that she would probably appreciate getting products for free and at a discount. And then I say, well, why did you put Mindy down as a C? Why do you think she wouldn't want to host a party, or why do you feel nervous about calling her? And so Katie told me that she doesn't know Mindy very well, that they've only met a few times, but Katie also has horses, and that's how she knows her, because they're neighbors and they both have horses. So the next thing I do is give them the words. So I take the information that Katie has given me about Mindy, and I tell her what I would say if I was calling Mindy, and what I wouldn't say if I was calling Mindy. So what I wouldn't say is, Mindy, it's Stacy, your neighbor. We hardly know each other. I just started selling Pampered Chef. Do you want to host a party? Let me know if you want to host a party. I would love to do a show for you. Like, that's what some new consultants would seriously say. The worst thing you can say is, let me know if you want to host a party. Because you know what Mindy's going to say? All right, Stacy, I don't know you. Sure, I'll let you know. I'll let you know. Katie never hears from Mindy. So what you want to say instead is you call her up, and I'm a big believer in stating the obvious, but you have to give a solution to that. So the obvious is they don't know each other. So why am I calling you? All right, here it is. Hey Mindy, it's Katie, your neighbor, and we get our little formalities out of the way. And I say something like, all right, so here's the reason why I'm calling you. I actually just started selling Pampered Chef, and I am so excited about it. And believe it or not, even though we don't know each other very well, you were one of the first people I thought of. One, I thought, why don't I know Mindy? We both have horses, and we should really be friends. We should be close, better friends. And I thought, what better way to get to know her than if we did a Pampered Chef party together? But Mindy, the reason why I really thought of you is because I really think that you would love learning these Pampered Chef recipes and how they get dinner on your table fast, how the products really help you. And I don't know if you knew this or not, but Pampered Chef offers a great discount and free products to their hosts. And I would really love to work with you and help you get some free Pampered Chef products. What do you think? Do you think we could get some of your friends together for a wine, cheese, and chocolate party? And so that might not have been my best doing that, but basically I walk them through how you make this about the person and again state that obvious, that you don't know each other very well, but how you would love to be friends with her and why. They both have horses, so why aren't they friends? They have something in common already that they could bond over. And so after you do this a few times with each of the few of the people on their list, like maybe one of their C's, one of their B's, one of their A's, they really learn how to start making those phone calls and how to take the information that they know and make it about the consultant and about the host and how Pampered Chef can meet their needs. And then I said that we were going to use the grand opening show as a backup plan. So let's say Katie has this conversation with Mindy, and Mindy says, you know, Stace, you do seem like a great person. Oh, I'm sorry, this is Katie that's talking. Katie, you seem like a great person, and I really would love to get to know you, but this is just not a good time for me to have a Pampered Chef party. Katie can then say, you know what, Mindy, it's fine. I totally understand. You were one of the first people that I thought of, so I would have loved to have done a show with you, but I get it. But what I did want to also let you know is that I'm having 2 grand opening parties at my house. One on Friday, blah, 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 and one on Sunday, blah, 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 whatever date suit that Katie has chosen. And I would love to invite you to one of those. And you can still learn about the Pampered Chef recipes and the products, and this would also be a great way for us to get to know each other and start our friendship. What do you think? Can I send you an invitation? So, if Mindy, I'm sorry, got my names all confused. If Katie invites 40 people to her grand opening show and she's got 15 people there, Katie's going to be excited. But if Katie has 15 people at her show and no bookings on her calendar to do right after these grand opening shows, Katie's excited, but her business is not off to a strong start. Conversely, if Katie has 7 or 8 people at her grand opening show, but she's got 6 shows on her calendar, one right after another, in her first 30 days, how much better is Katie set up for success? So many consultants wait to book their parties from their grand opening shows, and sometimes they can book them a week later, but sometimes they can't. Sometimes it's another 30, 60 days before those shows get booked, and their business is slow going. So I prefer to teach my new consultants to go for the booking first and use those grand opening shows as backup plans. And a lot of times, people who say no to hosting a show come to one of the grand opening parties, and then they change their mind because they see the rock cracker, they see the deep cover baker, or they just have fun. They hear about the theme shows that are being offered, and they decide, you know what? I didn't have time, but now I want that grill pan or whatever, and I'm going to have a pampered chef party. So this first phone call usually takes me about 45 minutes to an hour to go through all of this with them, and we end with a little thing that I share about going for no, and that well, basically here's what I say to them. You know, when you're calling people for shows, you're going to hear a lot of no's, and you need to be okay with that, and that's why we start with our C's, to get you comfortable with hearing no's. We have a system called SW4. It means some will, some won't, so what? Someone else is waiting to hear from you. And the truth is, this business is all about numbers. You can't let the no's get you down. Keep on going, and your enthusiasm is going to pay off. 1 out of 4 people is going to say yes, that they want something or need something right now. And for the others, the time just might not be right. So stay in touch. But the contacts you make today are often going to bring results down the road. So before we hang up, we set a goal for how many shows they would like to have booked by the time we talk next. So this first phone call was done within 24 to 48 hours of their agreement going through. The next phone call is within another 24 to 48 hours. So at this point, we're looking at about 72 hours out that we're having that second phone call. And I got to tell you, if a new consultant says anything less than 4 shows that they want to have booked, actually it really doesn't matter what they say. If they say they want to have 6 shows, 4 shows, 2 shows, I'm always going to challenge them to go for a little bit more. And this is what we call target goal setting. So if Katie says to me, I would really like to have 2 shows booked by the next time we talk, I would say, you know what, Katie, that is awesome. I'm going to be so excited for you when you book those 2 shows. Let me ask you this. Is 2 the number that is going to have you over the moon excited? Is that your bullseye? Is that like what you absolutely are aiming for? Or is 2 the number that you can be happy with? Because if 3 or 4 is the number that's going to put you over the moon excited, let's shoot for that. And then if you get 2, we're going to be happy with it. When you're playing darts, you don't aim for that white rim, you aim for the bullseye. So if we aim for 4 shows and we get 2, we're still happy. But if we aim for 4 and we get 4, we're going to be over the moon. What do you think? And sometimes 2 is their number that is going to put them over the moon. But a lot of times it's not. It's their number that they're going to be happy with. Either way, you have to teach them from the beginning to dream a little bit bigger, shoot a little bit bigger, a little bit higher than they think they can really achieve, so that we get the results that they really can live with. At the end of this phone call, I also email them our fast track program and our career plan chart, and I just ask them to read it over and let them know that the next time we talk, I'm gonna explain all of that to them. So second call is again about 72 hours later, and the most important thing that you do at the top of this call is affirm them and encourage them and just keep that excitement up. If they booked 2 parties, congratulations. If they booked 1 party, that's awesome. I am so excited for you. If they didn't book any parties, hey, you picked up the phone, you went for it, you got all the no's out of the way, the yeses are coming. They need so much affirmation. They need all of those attaboys, attagirls. It is one of your biggest jobs right here is not only to be their trainer, but to be their cheerleader, and then coach them, offer suggestions, work through the difficulties to help them reach the goals that they're setting for themselves. I should have said this. At the end of that first call, I encourage them, or I ask them to take the host coaching online training course and the sharing the opportunity training course, because on this second call, not only do we go over host coaching, but we also help them to write their story. And their Pampered Chef story is one of the best tools that they have in this business. Not only is it going to help them to get recruits and build their team, but it's also going to help them to book parties, because we all know that people need to connect with us in order to join our team and to book shows with us. And your story is one of your first steps in doing this. And a lot of new consultants don't know what to say, or they say way too much and their story goes on and on and on and on and on, and we need to help them trim that back. And so the Sharing the Opportunity training course helps them to do that. And I actually walk through the 5 questions with them, which are: what was your life like before joining the Pampered Chef? What were you looking for from the business? What were the concerns you had about joining, and how did you overcome them? How is your life already better because of the Pampered Chef? And once you achieve your immediate goal, what is your long-term goal for the next 1 to 2 years? Now, it's important for them to realize that those first 3 answers to those first 3 questions never change. They always stay the same. I've been telling the same 3 things for the last 10 years. Why I started, what my life was like, what I was looking for, and what I was afraid of. But the last 2 should always be changing and evolving. And quite honestly, that question number 4, how is your life already better because of Pampered Chef? They haven't even done their first party. They don't know what to say here. So they're like, I don't know. So this is where you really have to help them to see. Sometimes they'll bring it out themselves, but their life is better. The day they signed their agreement, their life got better. 1, they are getting a fantastic kit of products that they will have for the rest of their life. They have access to incredible recipes. They are part of a family. And most importantly, for most new consultants, they have hope. They have a reason to try something that they're looking forward to in their life. So I walk them through that. I ask them to email it to me, and then I maybe tweak it a little bit, or ask them if it's okay if I tweak it, or offer suggestions. And then I encourage them to make note cards for themselves, because I'm telling you what, I remember my first show, and even today, if it's been a week or 2 after a week, like a vacation or something, and I come back to do a party, I don't even remember what my products are called sometimes. Not true, but you just forget your name. They're brand new, they're nervous, they stand up in front of people, they don't even know their name, address, phone number, none of that. So a note card is going to help keep them on track and make sure they get through all of the points of the story. And then I tell them to just put that right onto their website. Like, they took the time to write it, now you've got something to put in the Your Story section of your Pampered Chef website. And then the last part of this second call is spent going over the Fast Track to Director program and the career plan chart, part of the Grow With Us that I send them. And it's so important to do this, to show them the benefits of building a team before you start asking them to think of people that they could reach out to. Because let's be honest, most new consultants don't want to recruit. They come into this business thinking, I don't know the first thing about this business. How could I help somebody else get started? And so one of the things that you need to let them know is that you're going to be doing that for them. You're going to train their new consultants. And that's why it's great to have a system, so that they can see that they can do it as well. But that there are so many benefits to building a team right away. And so after you show them that, I usually say to them, sharing this business with others is just another part of your job. So I want you to ask yourself, who can you help? So many people need more of something in their lives. Some of them it's more time, some it's more money, some people need more friends. Basically, more of something that the Pampered Chef has to offer. So the most important thing to remember is don't prejudge anyone. Even family and close friends rarely tell you what they need more of. Your job is just to ask. So once you get them excited about what Pampered Chef can do for them, as a new consultant, how it can benefit them financially. It's easier to get them to think about who else could benefit from Pampered Chef. And so at the end of this second call, I just ask them to start brainstorming a list of people that they think Pampered Chef could benefit. And then we address that on our next call. So at the end of the second call, I ask them to take the Your Cooking Show training course, to go online to Consultants Corner and watch some of the station style show videos. And then there's a couple of YouTube videos that I ask them to watch as well. But again, we set up a phone call for that third, we set up a date and time for that third call. And then at the third call, which is strategically placed right before their first show, so that not only can we go through their show and their outline and what recipes they want to make, because they're so nervous about this. And if I tell them on call number 1, when they're asking me what recipes am I supposed to make, if I say to them, I promise you we are going to have that conversation right now, let's focus on booking shows, then we don't have to worry about that. And that's a great thing about me having a system. I know that we're going to address that, and I don't have to get sidetracked on that first phone call with recipes and stuff, that we can wait and deal with that later. So we go through the whole show outline on this third call, but before we do that, we talk about that list of recruits, leads that they made. And we go through their list quite similar to the way we went through their Frank's list of of people to host parties. I ask them about somebody that's on their list, and I say, so let's just say she gives me the name Doris. And I say, all right, Katie, tell me about Doris. What do you know about her that would make her a fabulous Pampered Chef consultant? Why would she be good at this job? And so Katie tells me that, actually it was a girl named Denise that was one of the ones that she gave me a name of, that Denise is a very organized person. Denise is very social. She has a ton of friends. And then I say, okay, that's great. Now, why do you think that Denise would benefit from being a Pampered Chef consultant? So then she starts to tell me about how Denise loves to go on missions trips, and that's really her heart's passion. But it's very expensive to go on missions trips, and then you can't always raise the amount of money that you need. And so that she thought that Pampered Chef would be a great way to provide extra income for Denise and her husband to go on these missions trips. And then I just say, Katie, you know what? That's all you have to tell Denise. Always speak from your heart when you're talking to someone. Share with them why you thought of them, why you thought they would be a fantastic Pampered Chef consultant, and how you see this business meeting their needs. And be honest, Denise, this is probably the furthest thing from your mind right now. But I know you know that I just started selling Pampered Chef, and I can't stop thinking about you. I can't stop thinking about how organized you are, how many friends you have, so it will be so easy to get this business started, and that your heart is all about going on these missions trips, but you're not always able to go because you can't raise the funds. What if you did Pampered Chef on the side to earn the income to be able to take these missions trips? Would you be interested in learning more about being a consultant? And so when you walk your new consultant through the people on their list and how they would be great at this and how this business could change their lives, they get so excited about reaching out to this person that they're not afraid anymore, because it's like something clicks inside of them. They realize that this isn't something that they're doing to them. This is something amazing that they have to offer them. She knows Denise's heart and her passion, and she sees Pampered Chef could totally help Denise live her dreams. So recruiting becomes easy at that point. And I gotta tell you, more than a third of the recruits that come into my organization are from my new consultants, because of this process that we walk them through, because they get so excited about the people in their lives that they love and care about and how they can help impact their lives. So I want to challenge you to do that, because when you get your new consultants recruiting in your organization, you have a recruiting culture in your entire organization that catches on like wildfire. And those consultants that we didn't do this with years ago then want to start recruiting because they want to be a part of the fun and excitement that's happening. So I'm going to wrap this up real quick and let you know that we have a phone call after every single show that the new consultant has in their first 30 days, especially between those 2 grand opening shows. And then we have another one at their 60-day date and their 90-day date. And again, this is to help keep them excited. It's to help support their goals. It's to help support their changing why. Because I guarantee you on day 30 and day 60, their reasons start to change why they started Pampered Chef. But most importantly, it's to help them when things aren't going the way that they expected them to go. You need to be there and intercept them in those down moments to get them back on track. And they need to feel supported from you as much as possible. They are your new little chicks, your new little puppies. They deserve the most attention, and they're the ones that are going to shoot to please you and please themselves, work for themselves the most, because they have the most excitement. So I'm going to turn this over to Sharon now, and she's going to talk to you about what they do with their new consultants in their organization, which might be the same, it might be different. Who knows? Sharon and I have different personalities, but we both are extremely successful in this company, and that's what's great, is there's not always one way to do things, one right way to do things. So I'm sorry again I couldn't be with you guys tonight. Feel free to reach out to me after this. If you have questions, if you want my copies of my little booklet here, and have a great night.